Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 204. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else a gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for broadcasts for shooters, hunters, and all things firearms related. And in this show, we will be discussing the Trojan Firearms Trigger review, the Cimarron Bad Boy, and some M1 Carbine atrocities. So tonight on the podcast, we have Zane, everything, Rob,
Yo.
Sean, hater of Zane.
That's not true. That's not true. You know, I'm catching a lot of flack for being a Zane hater, right? I'm not a full-blown Zaniac, but I don't hate Zane.
I know you like him.
I care for him.
And we have Dave from Renegade Ammo. So we'll start out with what we did in firearms. I'll go to Sean first.
Oh, what didn't I do? So taught an intro to shotgun course on Sunday. That was kind of awesome because we had two women in their mid-60s come out that have decided they want to get involved in firearms, which was huge. They both did really well. One of them was smoking clays left and right by the time we were done with the course, which was only about 3 hours. So as an instructor, you're always riding high when you have a student perform real well like that. So that was a lot of fun. Got the bad news about the church in Texas on the way home, which of course crushed whatever good feelings I had from teaching that class. And then last night, Tony and I hosted the Second is for Everyone diversity shoot at a new location, the Garden State Shooting Center in Lakewood, New Jersey, which was awesome. We had about 25, 26 people show up. I want to say 13 or 14 of them were new to the event, and probably half of those were first-time shooters. So that was awesome too, that Tony's event is spreading like the plague that it is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And seeing new people come out, and of course some of the familiar faces who made the trek. You know, normally we're up north. This is more central Jersey, a little bit further south. And people still made, you know, some of our regulars still made the trip down to be there and support the event, run a port. Alan Wong was there. John Ligori was there. Zane's biggest fan, Ed Cabrera, was there. A bunch of other people. I can't name them all, obviously, but it was really, really good to see everybody come out for that.
Nice. Okay, I guess we'll follow my screen here, and we'll go to Rob next. See what he did.
What did I do? Oh, yeah, I did. I went up north, hung out with some relatives. We did a little bit of hunting and did a little bit of shooting, and that's pretty much about it. Not a whole lot. I didn't do the cool stuff that Sean did. I mean, that's phenomenal what Tony's up to now. But yeah, like I said, just a little bit of hunting. Didn't get anything. That's why they call it hunting and not killing, I guess. You know.
Well, no, you went for a walk in the woods with a gun.
Oh.
It was a romantic walk in the woods with one of your firearms.
He might have been in a tree stand, so he might have had
a stand. Actually, yeah. I was in a tree stand.
Oh, so you had cuddle time.
Yes. Fondlage, mass fondlage,
gun cuddling.
Oh, yes, you're just jealous.
Yeah,
I am.
Well, it's too bad you didn't get anything. So
precious is.
I guess we'll move on to Dave. Did you do anything exciting, Dave? I think you're muted, so you might have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, that might help if I turn around and unmute myself, right?
There you go.
No, I didn't do a whole lot of anything this weekend. I took it easy, got caught up. We just moved a little bit, bought a new house, and just we're trying to get our lives back in order because it's getting back into busy, most of us in the standardized of the quote gun industry. So I had a real boring weekend. Went hunting, didn't do it.
Sweet. Yeah, you were cutting out a little bit, so, but that's pretty good, and it's nice that you got moved and everything. That's pretty cool. I guess we'll go on to Zane. He's still muted, and he's probably gonna come in eating crackers or something.
Moon pies.
No. Moon pies are good though. I actually was pretty busy this week. I got a bunch of stuff in. I got a new flashlight because we all know I love flashlights. with a therm switchback on. I got a new sling for my shotgun, even though I hate shotguns. I'm taking a class at the end of this month that requires use of shotgun and a sling, so I had to buy a sling. I also went hunting, and I did not use a Glock or an AR for most of it. Most of it.
Mosin.
One time I did. Yeah, I actually shot a hog with a Mosin. I shot one with my 270, and then I actually shot a hog with my Glock just because. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to the range once, did some shooting. I got banned from another online forum about guns.
Excellent. Which one?
Never
mind. We don't care.
Yeah, one of the Glock Nations. So, I think I'm banned from all of them now.
Listen, if they banned you, they probably stink anyway, so screw them.
Yeah. Well, it is Glock Nation, so.
Yeah. So much for them, I guess.
Yeah,
we're not getting sponsored by them, I guess. Thanks, Sam.
Listen. That there's a never mind.
Yeah.
Listen, I've seen the stuff Zane posts in there, and he should not be the one being banned. It's like the 95 of the 100 people that respond really need to get hit with the ban hammer, not Zane.
I'm really trying to help people and spread some knowledge, and there's just so much derp in those groups. It's just hard to combat.
Did I just stick up for Zane? Who am I?
Yes, you stuck up for Zane.
I was just rolling with it. I was like, who is this guy?
What just happened? Oh.
But yeah, I guess
dirty.
That's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I did.
Well, you guys did about more than me. I went to what they supposedly called a gun show, and it was not worth the admission, that's for sure. Basically, it was a bunch of empty nothing. And so then after that, I went to the local chain store, and for some reason, I don't know if they got the stuff marked off wrong but I went and bought some bullets because they had some 105 grain 243 bullets for like $18 a box of 100, and I couldn't pass up the deal, so I had to buy some of those and then come home and load them up. So that's the extent of what I did. Guess we'll get into the announcements. Bandwidth sponsor is Patriot Patch Co. So they're making great patches. I just looked at their website. I didn't see any brand new patches for pre-orders, but there is the Patch of the Month Club. And from what I hear, there's still room for November. So if you want to sign up, you can get these two awesome patches. One says "Gobble This," and the other one is like a grocery cart full of guns and ammo and all that kind of stuff. So
clearly the Black Friday patch, right? That's what we're going
clearly
for. Yeah.
Black Friday. And I'm not sure if it's supposed to resemble some cart that you get at a store that has something that looks like a Target on their sign. I don't know.
Because that might be gun related.
Those are just generic.
The double entendre is strong with this patch.
Mm-hmm.
Listener support program. If you want to give us some support, you can go to firearmsradio.tv/pledge gun gear review podcast and pledge your support for this show so that we can, I don't know, give stuff away or something. I don't know what we're doing. You can also support the other shows at the firearmsradio.tv/pledge. And if you're shopping Amazon, please use our affiliate link at firearmsradio.tv/Amazon so that we get a small percentage of your sale to help keep the network running, including us. Black Bag Resources has their Simon Says Train coupon code, so anything bought with that gets donated directly to Tony and the 2A4E diversity shoot. And so I guess now we have to get into the main topic. And even though Zane offered to do a review, I told him I had one written up, so I will do.
I did one anyways, though, so we'll have one ready just in case we have another one of those weeks.
Yeah, and
good job, overachiever.
Yeah, I guess I should apologize for not having a show last week. That was my and my family's fault. So, I guess I can try harder next time.
You owe all our listeners a refund. Whatever you paid to listen to last week's show, Chad will send you a check. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, send him a esophagus stamped
right.
envelope to the Firearms Radio Network, where we're our home base.
And I will give you guys, I will double your guys' pay.
Sweet.
Hang on, right?
Nothing leaves nothing.
I know, exactly. And so
I love what Sean's
today,
doing in the network.
Yep.
Getting raises, more shows.
Raises, more shows. Today we have the Trojan Firearms Flat Trigger is what we are reviewing, or I am, I should say. So a lot of people haven't heard of Trojan Firearms. They're kind of more well known for their pistol caliber carbines, but they also make AR style triggers and other bits and pieces for, AR style rifles. Their trigger, it's a single stage. It's called the TFA 15S flat trigger assembly. They also manufacture curved trigger for those who don't like the straight version. Trojan Firearms actually supplied us one of each of them for review, and we get to keep these. I sent the other one to Tony, so after he reviews it, he can put it in their giveaway or one of the rifles they're building for the 2A for
each. Nothing left of it.
Diversity shoot. That's okay. You can always go over to firearmsinsider.tv and look at the pictures and look at the review. Besides being a flat trigger, compared to some other triggers, it's got a few nice touches. It is the cassette style quote drop in. I say quote because you do have to remove the safety and to drop the trigger in. But it uses a shoulder bolt mounting system instead of pins like most trigger systems do, which is kind of neat. So basically, you drop the trigger in, and then you have these. I'll see if I can get them up here somewhat focused. And they have these like shoulder bolt screws. You just screw in from each side and snug them down. They do have star washers that came on them. You don't have to use the star washers. And if you had a nice finish, I don't know if I would want to, because they can kind of dig in a little bit. I'd just probably use a drop of some sort of thread locker. And then another really nice, which I doubt you're going to be able to see, a nice touch they have, is if you've done anything with these kind of drop-in triggers, they usually have one like set screw adjustment. And what that does is it adjusts your pull weight and your basic trigger return. But what they do on this one is, I guess you can kind of see it on the video. There's that big screw right there. And what it is it's actually a lock screw. So once you set where you want the trigger, you put that screw in and it locks it down against the actual set screw that adjusts the trigger weight. So that's kind of a nice touch. I haven't seen that very much or before. And then there is also, after you do that, if you want, even though with these pins you don't have to, they have the typical 2 set screws on the side to lock it down against the base of the little slot to even hold it in more secure. I like being able to adjust pull weights of triggers. That's kind of a nice touch. This trigger uses, like I said, the standard single screw adjustment. You screw it in for a heavier trigger pull and out for a lighter one. The reset adjustment, as you lighten the trigger, it gets slower. You can actually lighten it up enough that the trigger won't reset, so you have to screw it back in. I was able to adjust the trigger from 2.5 pounds measured at the base of this trigger to around 7 pounds. If you measure it where your finger normally rests, kind of in the center, it came in at about 3.5 pounds with its somewhat normal reset. I will mention that the first one of these triggers they sent me did not pass a safety test. You could put the safety on and then pull the trigger, and then when you drop the safety, the hammer would fall. Their customer service was great. They got back to me and immediately sent out another trigger. I actually had it in a few days. This one works fine. When I talked to them, they said it seemed like there was one of the springs, there was something wrong with it. So, but they took care of it quick. I mean, I'm not going to really dock them because this one works fine. The one that I sent to Tony, I checked it too, and it works fine. I tried it in different lowers. It all had the same thing. One thing I noticed was this trigger is longer than some of the others that I've seen. It's pretty close down here by the trigger guard. I actually like that. Seemed to work well for me. Kind of a natural position when you shoot it. I was kind of hesitant about liking the straight shoe, but I like it. I still like curved triggers because I think they give you a more consistent feel, because even with a flat trigger, you're never going to always stick your finger in the same exact spot, which, is okay. I attribute this trigger has a little bit of take up, and but it's super smooth. You can feel it. I don't even know if you can probably see it on the video, see it even move. But it makes it kind of feel, I don't know if like a 1911 trigger, you kind of have that slack and then it comes up, kind of like a two-stage. But with this, you just feel it sliding on the sear, and then all of a sudden it just breaks. And that's only if you pull it super slow. Any other time, it feels, I'm going to say, the proverbial glass rod. And I even put in the review that I actually have broken a glass rod, so I do know what it feels like. So no questions from you, Sean. And so,
what diameter glass rod?
Oh, it was like about 3/16.
So was it 3/16 or was it about 3/16? See, this is where the whole thing falls apart. I'm going to mute my microphone again.
Okay.
I'm going to agree with the glass rod thing, though. It's dumb.
Yep. Well, I've had to throw something in there for you guys. Every time I get a trigger in for your review, I actually try it with my 22 long rifle conversion kit. This one is actually one of the few ones that actually worked with it. It seems like a lot of them don't have enough hammer energy to consistently fire the rimfire cases. The TFA 15 actually did. One of the other triggers, if you guys want to know what it is, you can go back through my reviews and probably find it. I really like the super smooth trigger. The creep's okay. So if you're looking for a decent drop-in trigger, Trojan Firearms, it's a pretty good trigger. So customer service top notch. They are made in the USA, and they make more than just triggers. We'll get into the Firearms Insider 8 key points. Claim to fame. Well, drop-in adjustable AR-15 trigger. Target market, modern sporting rifle users who want a better trigger pull, which is about everybody. So, features and benefits. Single stage adjustable pull from, they state 2.5 to 6.5 pounds. Pull weight varies depending on finger placement on the trigger bow. And they even say that on their website. So it's nothing that they don't try to say isn't there. It's extremely short and crisp pull with near zero reset. I mean, literally, it's like right back where it should be. It has polished contact surfaces for enhanced smooth trigger pull and reset, which I did find. It's black nitride coated on all the steel parts. They're heat treated 4140, so they should last a long time. It has a red anodized aluminum housing. It's pretty much self-contained. It has a secondary safety catch for increased reliability in case something does go wrong. And I can show that to you. Right there is the safety catch in it. So I guess if you dropped it hard enough that if the hammer were to fall under some condition, it would catch there and not fire the round. It uses their proprietary mounting system, the shoulder bolts, and something I forgot to mention earlier, if you have the safety selector in the safe position, you can still cycle the action and it will still work fine, which not all triggers will do. This one does. Some people, it's kind of a safety thing. Some people like to have the safety on when they cycle it, just extra precaution maybe. It comes with all the adjustment wrenches and stuff you need to install it. Other options available is the curved trigger. I could not find anything of what others were saying or links to other reviews. It is a fairly new trigger, so I guess we might be the first to actually do a full review on it. The price point, it is $149.99, and the only place I could really find it was Trojan Firearms, so you can go to their website and buy one. Our rating is the adjustable pull weight, the longer straight trigger bow. It's easy installation, works with 22 long rifle conversions. It has a smooth pull. You can cycle it while on safe, and the adjustment lock screw. The cons, somewhat mushy reset when you get down to the lower weight trigger pulls. The star washers, I didn't really feel they were needed. Plus, they could damage the finish. If it's just anodized, probably not. But if you have some sort of Cerakote or something, it might dig in. And the first trigger was not safe. Though, even with those, that because of the customer service and everything, I gave it a rating of 7.5, which is good. So you guys have any questions?
I know you talked about the different weights depending on where you place your finger on the trigger. Were you able to get what you felt was a consistent pull out of that?
Yes. I usually just where I put my fingers right about there, and I adjusted it so I got like a 3.5 pound pull there. It's consistent on my gauge, and down here that's about a 3 pound pull. But I liked how it was shooting and functions, and it's a nice trigger. So,
yeah, because I've seen other ones that put like a little spur at the very bottom of the trigger, on those straight bows, just so you have an index point, so you can consistently hit it in the same spot.
Yep.
I've been curious about those straight triggers, and I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it.
Well, and that's the thing is I have other straight triggers, but one of them has the shoe on it. So, but I have shot that one without the shoe on it, and I kind of like the shoe, but I was kind of impressed with switching from like a curved trigger to a straight trigger, how well that it pretty much much difference. I mean, I couldn't, if I was shooting like from a bench really accurate and stuff, I would purposely move my finger, down to the bottom where I'd have a better trigger pull weight. But when I was just shooting it at targets random, doing, low ready up to a target, I found zero problems with me noticing it not being consistent. So, yep.
Is that a thing? I've never heard of that. So I pull triggers on ARs. I don't work on them. Is that a thing about some triggers you can't cycle the bolt with the selected on safe?
Yeah, take your AR and put it on safe and see if you can cycle the bolt.
Yeah, it's a design feature. That's why they have it safe. You're not supposed to be able to shoot it when it's unsafe. Right?
Yeah. Bolt.
What is that wolf?
I think it's
that's
Sean's
my
phone or something.
that's my ringtone. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's all I had. Yeah, I ain't got nothing.
Okay. Sounds good.
Well, I guess
and since I'm done with
how to
that,
use the safety on as they are.
No, I'm sitting here thinking about the manual of operation, and you can definitely cycle the action with the gun on safe. You can definitely do that.
Yeah,
you sure?
could cycle the action with the gun on safe. Yeah, just did it.
Yeah, because every manual of arms, or at least the idea is if you're always taught to try to go to safe if possible, even for clearing malfunctions and stuff. So I'm trying to think of a trigger that won't allow you to work the charging handle. It
is a
foreign
thing
to me.
though. Yeah,
It might just be this particular trigger.
What was that?
I said it might be a design of this particular trigger.
Yeah, because I'm doing it right now.
No, but he's saying with this one you can do it, but I've never seen a trigger that you cannot. Like that's not a thing. See, that's not a thing I've ever seen.
right. That's some
How
aftermarket.
much, Chad? Go get it.
You can't.
Go get it.
Go get what?
Go get one of the guns that you can't do it with.
Well, the trigger's out of it. To put this one in.
Because I'm thinking about that, and like, so with the difference between handguns and rifles mainly is that typically if you carry a gun with a manual safety, with most handguns you're going to disengage that during your draw stroke. The difference is with a rifle, you disengage that on the up. So you're doing all your other manual of arms with the safety engaged. At least how I was taught to use a rifle.
Well,
but
here's
then
the other
if you
thing.
look
You
at
can't put normally, and maybe you guys have a different experience, but unless the rifle is, we'll call it cocked, you can't engage the safety on an AR.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. Exactly. That's why they always say attempt to put the selector to safe, like if you're clearing a malfunction. But a lot of times you can't, because if your bolt's halfway closed or something, you're not going to be able to do that.
But see, on this, that's where the function is, I guess, is how I should put it. You can put it on safe and the hammer's down.
Right. So you just did a bad job at explaining it.
So what you're saying is you can put it on safe. You can press a trigger and have the gun not cocked, and then you can. Okay, now I see what you're saying. I thought you meant
look at the video.
Yeah, he explained it backwards.
I explained it. And then see, I flipped it to safe with a hammer down.
Well, you gave the trigger a 7.5, and because of that, I give you a review of 6.4.
I'm sitting here thinking
that's
about
worthwhile.
You can't cycle the charging handle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that doesn't sound right at all.
This is what this is the best thing that could happen, because this is why one of the reasons we do reviews on the podcast, because you guys can fix all my screw ups.
Yeah, because I would never screw up on air, ever.
No.
So what you're saying,
none of
is
us
you
would.
put the safety on and the hammers drop, you can't cycle the action?
That's what he said. That's not what he meant.
Yeah, that's not what I meant. What I meant is you can't actually put the selector to safe on.
Normally on an AR-15 with the hammer forward like that, you can't put the safety on. You cannot engage the safety. It will stay in the fire position. This one, even with the hammer forward, you can engage the safety, which I guess they're claiming is an added level of safety with their trigger.
Chad, with the hammer forward and the weapon on safe, can you cock it or charge it?
Yes.
See,
and that's where I was wrong, because all AR patterns with it.
Yeah, I'm just bumping your review down another half point. It's down to 6.2 right now.
Jeez.
Yeah, no. See, I do kind of like that because, well, I'm split on that. I like it in the sense that you're trained to first thing try to put on safe. The thing I don't like about that is that's part of the diagnostic problem. If it won't go on safe, that tells me a few things about what's wrong with my gun. What do I need to do to fix it?
It tells you
I
what
see
kind
both
of
sides
jam.
of that argument.
I see them both.
Yeah.
Right. And I can understand that, because certain certain malfunctions, if it doesn't go on safe, will tell you.
Right. If I can't
to
get the gun to safe, I know for a fact what I don't have. I know for a fact my hammer is not in the back, is not cocked. That's
correct.
So I can go through the diagnostic process that way.
Right, and you're going to have to cycle the action as opposed to maybe just drop a mag.
Correct. Okay.
Put a new one
I'm
in.
tracking now. We're all on the same page.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll move into our product discussion. First up,
here we go.
We're doing the first up is the Cimarron Bad Boy. On the name, but hey, action 44 mag revolver. What was that, Rob?
The cinnamon?
A what?
Cinnamon revolver? I don't know how to pronounce that crap.
Cinnamon.
Yeah, cinnamon.
That's it.
No,
that's a
Cimarron. Oh, hi, Tony. It's okay.
He's only been
it's
off about 20 minutes.
Cimarron. Yeah, I know.
Actually late.
It's the Bad Boy 44 mag 8-inch single action revolver.
Yeah.
So, as you guys know, it's kind of it's your classic design. It doesn't say who it's designed by, but pre-war frame style. It has an octagon barrel, army grip, flat top adjustable sights.
Somebody needs to go on mute.
I need to mute that Black Bag Resources guy.
Yeah, why would you even blame me when Sean's around?
I know. Adjustable sights. So we have too much information on it. Besides that, it's blued, not stainless. And the MSRP is $687.70. Here, it's new. If you are into single action revolvers, this thing's pretty cool. I mean, it's just your classic old style revolver it's got adjustable sights, 44 mags, so you can pretty much hunt whatever you want with it as it goes.
I think it's a 44 caliber single action revolver. And in that aspect, the price is pretty good. You're going to get something that looks like, I think that looks like a Colt. Where is it? Yeah. And it's, I don't know what it can handle. I don't know if it's nice. I don't know. How heavy can you put it? How heavy or how powerful of a hand load can you use with this? Don't know. Is it only built for, it's not for cowboy action because those sights are not cowboy action type sights. They're adjustable sights.
Right.
So I'm thinking if this thing can handle hot stuff, if this thing can handle top hunting 44 Magnum ammo, pretty good price. The MSRP is still about what I paid for my Smith & Wesson 686 used.
Yeah. I hear you.
I can see it for, like you say, for hunting purposes. If someone wants to hunt, I don't really see, or just single action shoot. They on the website they talk about great for bear protection. I don't want a single action gun for any kind of protection. But
exactly.
Yeah, but Glock doesn't make a 44, so you'd be in trouble.
Yeah, I don't.
In case bears came.
Yeah, Glock doesn't really. Well, no, you can use a 45 gap. That's an awesome round from what I've heard.
Anyways, we're gonna breeze right by that. I've never heard of this company. Has anyone heard of this?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do put cinnamon in my food when I'm cooking it, but
no. What do they?
What else do they make? What would my I
this
have
is
seen
this
by
is
them?
Nothing because you don't like anything but ARs and Glocks. So now the rest of us adults, who aren't tactical Timmies, no, they make a lot of cowboy action. They make a lot of those era guns. They make real. I think they also have some stuff like Quigley Down Under type high walls, rolling blocks. They make those period pieces. And they make them affordable.
So this is a reputable company. They don't make junk.
No,
it's
Okay.
not at all.
I just never heard of
they
them.
make
I'm just
decent-
worried about, is this thing a piece of crap? But
No, you're not going to find.
Listen,
you're not going to find double barrel.
Cimarron's never heard of Zane Mungillo
No,
either.
well, you know what? They probably haven't. But they will now.
I love that. They've never heard of you. They probably have.
I mean, that's probably a fair statement.
Now,
But to answer your real question, Zane, is yes, they've been making firearms for a while, and they do make a lot of cowboy action stuff. And because they're not on the super expensive price range, I mean, they're not inexpensive, but they're not like super high quality expensive, and they make a good revolver, a good single action.
Sub $700 for a single action 44 Magnum is pretty, I mean, that's very reasonable. I mean,
right. And that's the thing, is that's their market, and they make quality guns in that market.
here's the thing.
So
If you're
I
going
like-
to get in on this,
go ahead, Tony.
I'm sorry. If you're going to get in on something like Cimarron, this is the time to do it before it becomes a cool gun. You know what I mean? And they just go up another 50% in price for no reason whatsoever, except that's what everyone wants to buy.
Right.
So, and it's just it's not as, I guess, good as if you get Colt single actions or if you get like whatever. But I'm like, what are we talking about good? What percentage of good are we talking?
Yeah. See, I like the idea of handgun hunting. I like that. I think that's cool. I enjoy doing that. I do it with a Glock. Big surprise there. But I do.
Why do we even bother?
I dropped a 170-pound hog with a 9mm Glock this week, so take that. But no, I like the idea of handgun on hunting. I think it's cool. So this is, I don't know. I'd shoot a hog with this.
Just for comparison,
Hey,
Ruger's Blackhawk is $829 MSRP. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the thing. By the way, they also make Doc Holliday 12-gauge shotgun, 20-inch barrel.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's called the Joe Biden
now you've heard of
special.
Cimarron.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have safeties with the double hammers on them?
No, they don't make garbage.
No.
$1,700. $1,700. But yeah.
For a Biden special? Wow.
Dude, it's also, you got to look at it. They don't give you garbage. But I saw a lot of their stuff. I checked it out at in Louisville. They had a booth, and you can check out a lot of Cimarron stuff, and you can get quality stuff at a lower price than you think. Now, I'm thinking, if this is good, if you can still send it out to gunsmiths that work on Colts and Remingtons and stuff like that, like those single actions, when they slick it up for cowboy action shooting, you can get some awesome work done of a really slick single action 44 that you can load with 44 specials and plink with it, or you can also load it all the way up to, you know, bear killing rounds or even stuff for two-legged predators. Is it the most effective firearm if you're going to use a single action 44 caliber pistol with between the 6 and 8? No, but it's been putting bodies in the ground since the 1870s. People still made the same way. Now, how good are you willing to get with your gun?
Yeah, it looks like street prices is coming in at under $670. I got a Bud's gun shop here for the $552 with the cash price, which is not the real price because it's an online shop.
Fake.
Right, so it's $568 is, so, you know, that's you know.
Well, here's the other thing to consider when hunting is, you know, that single action trigger is really, really consistent and really, really nice and considerably lighter than your Glock trigger.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. You know,
No,
I would never deer hunt with my Glock. Put it that way.
If you chose to be a little bit more classy a human being, you might choose to use a handgun like this. But You're going to have to learn to use a loading gate instead of a magazine. You're going to have to learn to cock a hammer.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Right?
ask. Where does the magazine go on this? I don't.
Now here's the thing.
You have to rotate the cylinder.
Zane said
Like half cock.
Zane said he killed a hog with his Glock. Now, he didn't say he shot it. So I'm assuming he shot at the hog. The hog saw what he was using, and the hog
died laughing. Yeah.
Well, he also thinks that, 170-pound hog, just because it outweighs him, is a big pig.
I didn't say it was big. That's the reason I shot it with the pistol. I shot the other two with rifles. All right. Listen. I've shot a lot of hogs in my life. Okay.
Listen, we're not talking about your dating profile.
Oh.
Yeah. Swipe left, dude. Swipe left.
It's not that kind of show.
You guys are hating extra hard
not
tonight.
that kind of show.
And you know what? The hate didn't start until Tony jumped in. Everyone was being all nice.
No, listen, Zane, I told you. I was waiting for you to give me something to disagree with, and here we are.
And here we are.
Yeah, because
I said the thing was cool.
What was that?
It was cool, but it'd be cool if you used double action mode like it's block and shoot. Whatever.
Where's this on their website? I'm looking for it and I'm missing it. Do I have to follow the show link to get to it?
Well, otherwise it's a pain in the butt to find. It's new. So, yeah, it took me a while to find it too. So just follow the show note link. It's easier.
Because
they don't really say much about it on their website, though. The website doesn't have a lot of information. It's literally like about a three sentence paragraph.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good gun. Buy the gun.
Yeah.
But understand what you might be dealing with. Again, they have their audience who knows, their guns. So they might not have to get that deeply into it.
You don't have to oversell it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a simple. I mean, it's a pretty simple design.
It's a single
action revolver. But no, it's cool.
I mean, it's not like a Glock and they reinvent every couple of years to keep selling their guns.
Right. It's not perfection.
Gen 5 perfection.
But
so what was Gen 4? Half perfect, quarter perfect, eighth perfect?
On a different note is single action revolvers, if you just want to go out and shoot like Plinkin, they are a lot of fun to shoot.
But in 44 mag?
In my opinion. Yeah, you load up like Tony said, 44 special.
Yes,
somebody else might choose a 22 long rifle single action revolver, but we know how much you hate that cartridge too, Zane. So
it's true. Yeah. I actually believe it or not, y'all aren't gonna believe this. I owned a 44 Magnum revolver at one time. It got stolen, unfortunately, but I did have one, and it had a 2 3/4 inch barrel on it, and it was terrible to shoot.
We believe you, but none of us care.
Moving on. Moving on.
Hold on.
No.
I really
Tony had something.
It's about
Zane, you in for now.
We're talking about overselling on their website. They have one simple photo of this 44. So I go on their Instagram where you can post anything you want, and they have crappy photos. Look, people. My Instagram photos should not be better than your company's Instagram photos. I take mine with a freaking phone. I'm just saying, put a little bit of money into this. Make it look good. Seriously. For reals.
That's, I've noticed that about a lot of companies that tend to cater towards the older crowd. And I'm not saying this company does, but single action revolvers, I'll let you decide.
Hey, we know this.
A lot of times, I've seen this with a lot of those companies. Though, their social media isn't.
You're wrong about this. You're wrong about single action revolver in their audience because obviously you have never gone to a cowboy action shooting match.
I have not.
Oh, you should.
You should, and you'd find out.
They'll laugh at you.
Well, but this isn't a single action gun. I mean,
I know you mean.
Completely rephrase that. This is a single action gun. This is not a cowboy action gun. Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Business caters to that. I'm not just talking about this photo. I'm talking about all of their photos on their Instagram page.
All right, I could be wrong. I've been wrong once or twice.
Yeah.
Step it up.
Or 20.
I mean, seriously.
Okay. John,
Single
Oh.
action from veteran something.
Oh, yeah. Dave's got one.
Yeah, I'm sitting here trying to talk. That's my Ruger 357 Blackhawk.
There you go.
Nice.
That's the way to do it.
The revolver I own right there is this, and I carry it in my service bag for the Legion Hall.
To the Legion Hall. Nice. Okay,
Nice.
now we're gonna now that we officially said that there's something that we actually kind of like on here, we're gonna move into these inland M1 carbine pistols.
Awesome.
And
All right, I'm out.
say pistols because
we hate this
they
suck
came
at the end.
they came up with two of them. One is the pistol, they call it, and the other one is the motor patrol pistol. The first one, which has a brace style on it with some sort of new forend, is MSRP on that one is $16.99. And then the next one, the motor patrol pistol, the MSRP is $13.99.
So reasonable.
Which, oh yeah, okay. So I'll start with the pistol, maybe, if I
Which
can.
pistol?
They're both pistols.
Yeah. The carbine pistol or the motor patrol pistol?
With the
The
regular
one with the
pistol.
wannabe sig brace or the one without the wannabe sig brace?
Hold
The
on. That's the Gearhead
brace.
Works tailhook. We talked about this on the show. We've discussed.
Well, we're
that
talking
brace.
about this on the show. Okay. So what they did was they took an M1 Carbine Action. What are you laughing at?
They've lost their F-11 minds.
I mean,
Let him finish.
$1,500 I can buy a reproduction M1 carbine for what?
Let him. Don't spoil the ending.
Yeah. You know, we got to build this up first, okay? This is typical, show-stopping stuff here we're doing. So
Seriously,
if I could stop
we need to
laughing.
find a better show.
Okay. What they did.
Okay, back to the amazing stuff.
Yeah, amazing stuff. Now they stuck this legal 30 carbine pistol with an IP, a Sage EBR chassis. It at least thread the barrel, and as Sean was saying, it has the brace. Okay. And supposedly it's going to be in 2018 when it actually releases. Don't know why you would stick an E-Bang. It's a 30 carbine, and I'm going to say, go out on a limb here and say, I love my original standard 30 carbine, but I do not want this 12-inch position. Is go too much. I'm going to try and go on pistol, motor pistol, 30 carbine. It's an actual pistol though. It uses an AR style grip. Some looks like kind of that EBR chassis on it. It doesn't say if it's the EBR chassis or not. There's carbine sights on it. It's the whole thing's 16 inches long. It doesn't say if it's got a threaded barrel or not. I am going to turn this also abomination over to, let's see, who should I go with first?
Hello?
Oh, Zane.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Zane can tell us how much he loves these two guns.
All right.
You know, yeah,
Oh.
I'm trying to do them justice here, and I can't.
Let me extend an olive branch before I talk about these particular guns. I absolutely see the desire to have an M1 carbine. My buddy has one. I've shot them. They're cool. My grandfather carried one as a platoon sergeant in the National Guard. I like the idea of the wire folding stock on the paratrooper model, since I was airborne qualified when I was in the Marines. This plastic stocked pistol in a substandard caliber that serves no purpose is just terrible. It's not even. Can someone tell me what the point is? Like, this is worse than that Raider pistol from last show.
Hold on.
Because at least that was in a freaking caliber people owned.
Let me run this past. Okay. Let me go ahead and say this then. M1 Carbine. One of the big mistakes made with the M1 Carbine is for people to start acting and using it like it's a rifle. It was never a rifle. It is not. It's not a rifle.
It's a souped-up pistol cartridge.
No, it's a PDW. All right? Everybody gets all freaking buttered up and moist when they look at 5.7s and the 4.5 from HK as if it's the first time it ever happened. Carbine was one of the original PDWs.
Don't tell Rob, but those are terrible calibers too.
Yeah, well, here's the thing.
That's the idea.
Because everybody still gets their head twisted around. I love everybody acts like they're so effing tactical, but they can't figure out something between and a pistol. They can't wrap their head something between them.
But here's the problem with that. The problem with the intermediate cartridge, and when I say intermediate cartridge, I'm not talking about the 5.56 or the 7.62 by 39, which are technically intermediate cartridges. When you're talking about PDW cartridges, the 30 carbine, the 5.7, the 4.6, they're not. There's that sweet spot of velocity that you get to with pistol cartridges to where they're opening reliably, they're expanding reliably. It's right around 1,000, 1,100 feet per second. Until you get to legit rifle velocity, 22.5, 23, 24, you're not getting that cavitation, you're not getting a temporary wound cavity, and you're not gaining a whole lot.
All right, now let me poop all over that. Hold on. Another thing. Everything in the military world does not translate to the civilian world. The military world is full metal jacket, so there is no opening up of a hollow point. And that's when this was developed. So let's go ahead and jump on that. We have got so screwed up that everything has to be what we use that it's incorrect. That thing was built for full metal jacket. It's more powerful. And understand, because you went through the Corps just like I did, pistol training is crappy in the military, especially if you don't get issued one. Now let's throw wartime training of drivers in. No one could shoot anything with any pistol they got, more than likely anywhere further than 7 to 15 yards. So when you give them an M1 Carbine with a more powerful cartridge, they could reach out to 50 yards. They could put multiple rounds on, but it is not built for anything really over that, and proved that over and over in combat. And everyone said it.
I'm totally tracking on all that. What I'm saying is,
let's talk about now. Let's talk about what's up with the 30 carbine now. Because we have not released 1 million of them we have in Korea, and the price is kind of nuts, and you can buy multiple ARs for less than you can buy M1 Carbine. Why on earth would I buy M1 Carbine outside of curiosity or just to have one or as historical precedent?
Right, the nostalgia of it. That's
into window-licking, short yellow bus helmet wearing presses for M1 Carbine of what, $1,600? You out your? I could build a damn time machine, go back and get a brand new Ivory Johnson for $1,600.
No, and understand when I'm talking about the ballistics of the cartridge, I'm referring to a use for people like me and you. Understand PDWs do serve a role when you are completely limited to full metal jacket ammo. Tracking on that, but this is just a terrible. What even is what? I don't even understand what the thought process behind this little thing is. Like,
all right, one of my processes and thought processes of the M1 Carbine, and I feel one of the uses for M1 Carbine, if you can find it with good hollow point ammunition, is home defense, self-defense for someone who wants something that weighs 5 pounds and is really short and quick handling.
I think you'd be better off with a pistol caliber carbine, honestly.
Now, hold on. It's more powerful than a pistol caliber carbine. It is. It is it's more powerful than most semi-automatic pistol caliber carbines. Now you get in the 357 44 lever action, it's gonna get its butt handed to them, especially at home defense distances. The lightweight, the low recoil over 30 caliber is fine, but now when you get into the price of how much does hollow point ammo for that thing cost? How much does regular ammo for that thing cost?
Actually, I looked at that. The ammo isn't actually terrible because I thought it was going to be super expensive. You can find it for around 30 cents a round.
Okay,
so
cool.
So that's not because I thought the same thing. I thought it's going to be $1 a round to shoot this thing. But
okay, cool. My thing is this: it's cool, but are the magazines reliable? Is it only 15-round magazines? No, excuse me. For regular M1 carbine, which we're not talking about here, it works in places that have on pistol grip, bayonet lug, that kind of thing. But now when you get to this thing, how much velocity does it lose with a 12-inch barrel? How the price itself is nuts.
Yeah, and when you're talking about the short barrel, this thing is using. The cartridge uses rifle powder as opposed to pistol powder, unlike 300 Blackout, for example. So you are going to lose a ton of velocity when you start chopping that barrel down real short.
Yeah, and
go ahead.
I have to say, I don't see a reason for this at all. I mean, as you guys know, I'm too old school, and I haven't, like I said, I have an original carbine. Wonderful, light, super low recoil, and I will say that to Zane that for home defense, if you load it with some decent bullets, hollow points, soft points, depending on, you can practically shoot that thing as quick as like a 22 long rifle because the recoil on it is so minimal.
Yeah, but I gotta think it's not going to be any less or any much more about the same recoil as a 9mm PCC. And as much as I'm on record at hating pistol caliber carbines, I think you're still going to be far better suited with one of those than one of these. Tony's beloved High Point is a better choice.
My thing is this with these, and it really does fall into that. You're just going to have to want it because it looks cool. It's a range thing, and you can use it for something else. And that's great because that's anything. But for MSRP of $16.99,
they've lost their damn minds on that MSRP.
I can find anything from anybody, anywhere, that's a pistol caliber carbine outside of some of the really high-end people that also smoke crack when they name prices for their stuff. And it'll work. But, when you start throwing names and letters on the side of some guns, all of a sudden everybody's cool with a $1,600 price tag. But one of those guns, the names you can't throw on the side of it for a $1,600 price tag is Inland.
Yeah, I am with you. And the thing is with either of these pistols they're making, I don't even see a small market for them. I mean, did they just do it as a proof of concept? I mean, that would make way more sense. I mean,
like I said earlier, well, hang on real quick. Like I said earlier, like at least with that Raider pistol we talked about 2 weeks ago, as stupid as I think that is, people already have that ammo. And if you're looking for something cool to pull out and, hey, look what I got, like you already have the ammo for it. Like this, you got to go out and buy a whole new caliber just to impress your friends.
And the Raider pistol is cheaper.
Yeah, a lot.
Now, my thing is this with this. I have a relationship with them because, as you said, High Point, MKS is the same company that owns Inland, owns High Point. The guys are cool. They're great. I've handled a lot of their M1 carbines, and I thought they were really cool because they had the wartime things. They had the ones with the flash hider. They had the really cool stuff. And if you're going to do reenactment or just love going to shoots dressed in World War II regalia and you want a new firearm, you can have it. My thing is a lot of the stuff and a lot of the reviews I've read said their M1 carbines really that dependable. Now you're going to get into something that never was, which is short barrel, which is pistol, and then you're just going to kick the price through the roof. What did they do with this? They already make a bunch of M1. So what's the difference between just cutting the barrel down and throwing the chassis on it and seeing if it sticks or if it just slides down the wall and nobody buys it? So I don't think that's big of a deal. I don't think there was huge development costs in going, hey, take the hacksaw to that sucker, cut it down to 8 inches and stick in the chassis. So, but yeah, I think it's a swing and a
you can buy their paratrooper carbine for $1,279. I'd be more inclined to buy that than those two things.
I think most people would.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and yeah. I think that's how they sell it. I just think this is something they threw out there and see if it takes off. And if it does, cool. If it doesn't, would I buy it? If I could. Because, oh, by the way, it's illegal in Jersey.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Here's the crazy thing, because I talked to the president of the company. I was like, look, can you do me a favor and just name this sucker the M3 carbine? I was like, just so we can sell it in Jersey, because M1 Carbine is against the law to sell in New Jersey. It's an assault rifle. But meanwhile, if it's not called the M1 Carbine, it meets almost every requirement for a legal firearm in New Jersey.
Could they call it an M-O-N-E carbine? Spell
yes.
out one.
Yes. They could call it a not an M1 carbine and sell it in New Jersey.
So as long as I don't have an M and the numerical 1, it's good.
This is what
it could be the EMWON carbine, and it's Jersey legal because it's literally banned by name. It's the dumbest set of rules you've ever seen.
So stupid. That's stupider than these pistols.
We're talking Jersey, okay?
This
okay.
is why
I think
I was screaming online. This is why we're screaming online all day to go vote, because this is the kind of laws that get passed in places like this. And then sometimes, when unheeded here, spreads to other states, and they go, "Look, we did something." The idea, I can't even dream up a reason that you'd spend this much money on something with this little capability, other than having a cool PDW of a cool caliber. Sorry. There's other things you can do for this, especially in that price. Heck, you can get one of those Turkish knockoff MP5s for this price.
Yeah. So, I think Zane actually said something, worthwhile, that the New Jersey laws are more stupid than these pistols. Okay.
Yeah, even a broken clock's right twice a day, though, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Okay.
And here's your two.
And guess. Well, that's funny. Okay, and since we pretty much wrapped up that stuff, we actually have listener feedback.
Oh my God! It's gonna freeze in hell.
Come on.
We have more than one listener feedback, but the first one, of course, is from the Sean fanboy, right?
Woohoo!
Yes, Cody G
Zane.
sent me an email.
Pay attention, Zane.
Yeah.
My fan is talking now. Since I had to listen to yours last night at Tony's event, now you got to listen to mine.
Okay, here it is. Cody G, great show. Thank you for all the crew for constantly showing up and entertaining everyone, which I thought was funny because we didn't do a show last week. It always feels like I'm hanging out with the gang on each show, just listening in. Prince worded. It made me understand what was it to be in a bad place with bad people. A few days ago, we experienced an issue with a carjacker who was shooting at the police. I don't know where this guy lives, but sounds like Jersey.
No.
My place of work is trying to keep it under wraps, but it makes it even more evident to carry every day, fight for the 2A, and most of all, acquire more and more medical response training. Thanks to Tony and Sean for putting it out there. Tony and Sean, keep it up with the out-of-the-box ideas and uses for new firearms and accessories that are different from the norm. I identify as a Glock 19 owner that also owns an MPX.
You cut out there. This is to Zane. He's letting Zane know he also identifies as a Glock 19 owner, right?
And also owns an MPX CZ
review
Scorpion,
goes bad.
and other firearms that don't meet the normal need. I like that you represent I only own a G19 and AR-15 users. However, sometimes you have to let others step aside the norm to improve and import new things to be the norm. I appreciate your view and understanding. I use it as a way to walk in someone else's shoes. Keep it up. It's the only thing that keeps me going in my retail job and the non-2A crowd. Well, thanks, Cody. Off of iTunes, we have one from Rhett Ranger.
Hold on.
So you gave, okay.
I don't get some kind of a rebuttal, nothing?
No, absolutely not. He just said he identifies with you as a fellow member of the LGBAR G19.
Want a rebuttal,
and
Zane?
Therefore he's trying to take your side. He's legitimately trying to see things from your very limited perspective.
Well, I would like to start by saying that I actually do not own a Glock 19.
It's a 17.
It's a 17.
It's a 17. It's a 17.
Hey, it's the same gun.
No, but you know what? He is absolutely right. He is absolutely right. And as I'm going to extend another olive branch, and that one of my bucket list guns is a Desert Eagle in the Tiger Stripe Gold, just because. So
and
I definitely understand.
Glock makes one, you're gonna get it.
And as soon as Glock makes one.
No. The only reason he wants it is because it uses the same rotating bolt as the AR-15. So it's familiar with.
It's gas operated. It's got a piston in it.
It's gas operated, you know.
Yes.
But no, so I understand why people like, you know.
And you know what? Just like the high point, if you run out of ammo, you can legitimately beat your opponent to death with the darn thing.
Hey, Zane.
Wow.
Hey,
nice segue.
I'm gonna give you some rebuttal here, because you noticed he mentioned all these people, but he forgot Rob and I. So see, you should feel good that he at least mentioned you. That Cody mentioned Zane. See?
Yeah, he brought up the important people.
Yeah.
Boy, Zane, what did you pay Cody to do this review?
Oh, that's Sean's fanboy.
No, that's Sean's.
Yeah.
He's all mine.
Yeah,
He's all mine, and I'm not sharing.
Nope, don't have to.
So now,
thank you, Cody, for the feedback. We appreciate it.
Good job, Cody. I'm pretty sure the last time I was on the show, I told Cody to leave feedback, and there he is. My man, Johnny on the spot.
So now we have some iTunes reviews. First one's great show, 5 stars from Rhett Ranger. I'm glad I found the show. Great group of guys representing different points of view. Hilarious AF. You need someone to represent precision shooting, though. So I guess we got somebody to learn how to
require some of us to learn to shoot better.
Yeah,
that's not happening.
Not happening.
I'm like a ninja at 3 yards.
Hey, listen, out to 99 with your handgun, you're the man. It's that last 3 feet.
It's that last yard under artificial light that I just can't pull it off.
Dude, that's awesome.
All right.
Everybody's giving me some ammunition is what you're telling me, so everybody 99-yard shots.
Yeah, well, that was with a handgun, though. So
yeah.
Okay, next one. Great funny gun podcast, 5 stars from C. Hebden. I love this show. The host and guest always have lovely banter and honest, useful reviews to help the gun enthusiast. I've made a lot of my purchases based on their help and advice. Okay, so we
made a lot of non-purchases.
Probably
based on hey,
and
you know what I just thought of?
Uh-oh.
might not go anywhere, but
What?
we have some. Really have. I mean, we just had some products that all of us, and I'm talking over the last 2-3 years, have just dogpiled on. Why don't we do something? Just some of the dumb ideas that we've stumbled across, like that titanium axe head, $100 that we talked
come
about.
on.
Oh yeah.
It was like
It was
2 ounces.
wallet sized, weighed nothing, so it was guaranteed to give you just no weight to swing. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was the one that stuck in my head because I think it was like within my first 3 shows back when it was like TJ, Ryan, and
Yeah,
Chad.
it was way back. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, both ways. So all you guys, thanks for your support and giving us feedback. We actually really appreciate it.
Yeah,
So
keep it coming.
I'm gonna
Especially Cody.
Yeah.
Cody's the best.
And if the people out there are tired of us, or especially me, ripping on products, send us suggestions of stuff to talk about, and we'll rip on that.
You remember
I
that?
have to laugh that somehow Zane came on and usurped me as the dude that trashed stuff. I
Well, Zane, I will say that
Zane was like, Tony hates everything. Hold my beer.
a couple weeks ago when we talked about that 224 Valkyrie round,
Right.
that was actually, I put that in there because somebody sent us some feedback saying, "Hey, could you guys talk about this?"
And that was a cool round. So obviously, at least one of our listeners is into cool stuff.
Hey, I guess we'll give Tony a chance to talk now without Zane interrupting him. So it's your time. Second is for diversity.
All right, I have no idea. I'm sure Sean talked about the diversity shoot we had last night at Garden State Shooting Center in Lakewood, New Jersey. It was really great. Some of the regulars came down from Gun for Hire. We had a bunch of new people from that area, and we really filled the place out. As always, the ambassador, Alan Wong, came through for me, brought his Tommy gun. We had Mata Material show up with like a slew of AR-15s. It just turned into a really cool event, and we had a lot of people out there representing. What we try to do with the Second is for Everyone diversity shoot is reach out to people from every background, every religion, every political stance. We're trying to grow the Second Amendment community one person at a time in a grassroots method by opening it up to them, allowing them to come to a place for not a lot of money and introduce them to all kinds of firearms owners, and bust up this negative media stereotype of the firearms owners that they continually try to push. And when something doesn't fit their narrative, they either try to change it or ignore it. In Henset that happened on Sunday. With the Second is for Everyone, the next event is going to be November 30th at Gun for Hire Range. I hope a lot of you guys can make it out because it's going to be the last event of the year. Gun for Hire is a quality range, wonderful range, a lot of fun to be at. Hope you guys can make it. We start at 6 p.m. We're going to have, as usual, raffles, swag bags, first 10 people through the door. It's just going to be a lot of fun, really cool. Hope you guys can make it out. What else happened, Sean? Is it right? That's what we're going to talk about.
Ed gushed over Zane, so hopefully Zane can get on a plane and come up to the one on November 30th and, sign Ed's forehead or something.
When is Ed going to send us feedback?
I don't know.
The bottom line is Ed is a big fan of Zane's, but clearly not as big a fan as Cody is of me.
Sounds like a challenge.
I got you.
Yes.
Yeah, it does to me too.
I think Ed gets all lightheaded and woozy when he hears Zane's voice or something. Yeah, that's right, Ed. I'm goofing on you. But the guy is funny as I don't know what. He made some kind of Candela statement during the diversity shoot.
It's just literally walked in the door, was like, "Hey guys, is Zane here?"
Candela is important. All right.
Yeah, shut up. Anyway, it was a great event. I really, we're still building this diversity shoot AR. need things like front gas block. We need gas tube, just small things, right, Sean?
Yeah, little stuff is what's left.
The little stuff to put it together. We got a hand guard.
Pistol grips.
Yeah, A2 pistol grips.
Oh,
Tony
yeah,
is
baby.
in desperate need of A2 pistol
Oh my
grips.
god!
Do you guys need any charging handle?
No, we have a truck that was
You
dope,
got
right?
one?
Didn't
Yeah. Rihanna did, but you know what? If Dave wants to send you one, say thank you and give him your address.
And make sure and throw an A2 pistol grip in there.
At least one, Dave.
Well,
Okay.
I missed what you were building out. I apologize.
That's all right.
What was that? Anyway, listen, thanks a lot, guys, for all your help. We still have the GoFundMe. If you want to help out with that, I could really use the help because we're about to get cut off for end of the years. All the companies, all the firearms related companies start gearing up for SHOT Show. So when I'm calling and begging for stuff, usually the answer is no. November, December, January, February. I'd sell to try to get anything. So if you guys really want to help me out, just kick a little bit in. 5, 10, box of 9 would really help. Just build up and get stuff done. And if anybody really wants to be cool, you can send me like a laptop or an iPad because my laptop just got out and my iPad is sending me threatening letters and looking at me like it's going to jump off a table. It's just stuff is going all at once. But thanks a lot for all your help. I really appreciate all the work you guys do. I just came back from working on the election polls from 5 o'clock this morning until now. So I just feel all America. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate all you do. Appreciate you listening to me every week. Ask for stuff and tell you about the second. It's for everyone. Just go to
thanks.
Go to our website, diversityshoot.com. And you can also hear our new podcast, The Second is for Everyone podcast that Sean and I do.
Woohoo.
On
And
diversityshoot.com.
those links are all in the show notes, so if you want to look at them. I'm going to go to Dave here at Renegade Ammo and let him say a few things about Renegade Ammo before he has to get off and go do actual work stuff. So,
All right. Well, yeah, I'll try to keep it short and sweet, and hopefully my video feed or voice feed, I guess, comes through clear and doesn't lag out on everything. What do you want to know? I mean, in a nutshell.
Just give us the 30-second rundown of what Renegade Ammo is.
Well, it's we started off. We didn't even sell ammunition until about 2 years ago, and I started the company to support veterans, and didn't really market it that way until just recently. But we take a percentage of everything we sell and we donate it to local veteran organizations, whether it's the VFW or the American Legion. I've done work with Matthew Axelson, the Axelson Tactical Foundations. We did some stuff with Grunts Down the Range 335 where we donated over a whole bunch of bottle openers that we manufacture. The Danny Deese Memorial stuff, we're working on doing tribute bottle openers for them that Bottle Breacher actually does now. That's unofficial, so we haven't done a whole bunch of talking on it. It's just talk right now. But other than that, we kind of get our hands in a whole bunch of mix of hodgepodge stuff back and forth. But really, the ammunition, it's just basic banger ammo. You know, 938, 380, 40, 45, 223. We do some sub 9, some sub 223 or 556. And that's about it. We're in about 36 stores nationwide. On the internal side of things, we do distribution for 27 other companies. Most of them are really small companies.
That's cool. Yeah, tell people a website where they can go buy your ammo and help out the veterans. Yeah,
website's www.renegadeammo.com. It's a mess. We don't. We sell a lot of.
At least you're honest.
Yeah, I mean it's a mess. I did it all myself, so I don't have a marketing team and a website IT guy, and I keep the cost really low. And surprisingly, we just reached out over the last couple months to a bunch of companies like Trigicon, who's actually local right here in Michigan, and said, hey, we want to have a giveaway just before Black Friday. Would you guys be interested in doing stuff? And they said, yeah, we'll send you an MRO. So we started reaching out to a whole bunch of other companies. We got about 22 companies right now that are sending us stuff from, Trigicon, there's Brimit, Darrow Holsters, Blackhawk. I can't even think of them all right now. White Mountain Tees. They're all listed on the website, or a majority of them. And as we're getting stuff in, we're rolling this out through the social media platform for recognition for products and companies right before Black Friday.
Sweet. Sounds good. I appreciate you coming on. I sent you the invite and you hopped on. So great deal.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
Hope it goes well for you. Yeah, no problem. I will announce, since we weren't on last week, our giveaway contest, which Renegade Ammo threw in a couple bottle openers. So he talked to the people that won and are sending them their way. Contest winners these are all Instagram names. Rich_Mac 1982. I think he picked the package with the Holosun in it and a charging handle and some other stuff. And then there was Eric GLK 19. I think that might actually be somebody like Zane, but it's not GLK 17. I think he took the backpack case with the handguard and a bunch of other stuff. Eric Klatt, I think, got the stuff, the 1022 Tandem Cross stuff. And I think they all got some hats, and there were a couple Onyx Hunt apps in there, which are pretty cool for a year subscription. And there's a lot of cool stuff. So congratulations, winners.
Yeah, anytime you do a giveaway.
Yeah, we'll hit you up. now that Tony knows you, he'll hit you up for everything.
That's fine.
So I actually shipped the stuff out like Friday, and of course, some of it's going to take a long time to get to people, and others. One of the guys posted a picture of the stuff today on Instagram, so he already got his stuff, which was pretty cool. So we're into the wrap up. Send questions or comments to gungearreview@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review. Check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews and industry coverage, mainly reviews, but hey. Check us out on Facebook at Firearms Insider. Follow us at Firearms Insider on Instagram, and we are out.
What you gonna do when 10,000 Zaniacs are running wild on you, brother?
I thought it was bifoliate.